This is a game that's on like nobody's radar. Absolutely nobody's radar. And this is the first real gameplay that we're going to be seeing of this game. They have released next to nothing about this one. They have not released nearly enough to get people excited, as you saw with that 7,000 views. This is Dragonkin the Banished. Again, I don't think a lot of you know about this game. So let's watch it together. It's only 5 minutes long. This will be a good one.
J'espère que vous avez apprécié le trailer qu'on a diffusé hier. Je vous retrouve aujourd'hui pour vous donner un peu plus de contexte et de détails sur Dragonkin. Avant de rentrer dans le vif du sujet, je préfère rappeler que Dragonkin est prévu de sortir le 6 mars 2025 en accès anticipé sur PC et des versions Xbox Series et PS5 sont prévues pour plus tard. À Echo Software, nous sommes des passionnés de jeux vidéo, et en particulier de hack and slash. Après plusieurs jeux en action top-down avec la série des How to Survive, nous sommes lancés dans notre premier hack and slash avec Warhammer Chaosbane en 2019. Dragonkin représente notre volonté de nous dépasser avec un projet encore plus ambitieux, avec notre univers, nos mécaniques et notre histoire. Nous avons axé le développement de Dragonkin autour de trois piliers. Le premier, une mythologie autour des dragons. Le deuxième, un theorycraft accessible mais profond. Et le troisième, une progression sur plusieurs plans. Pour rentrer dans les détails, commençons avec le premier pilier, les dragons. Toute l'histoire de Dragonkin tourne autour des dragons bannis et de leur influence sur le monde. Leur voix et leur sang ont des propriétés particulières qui peuvent corrompre le corps comme l'esprit. L'univers de Dragonkin s'est inspiré du mythe du dragon sous toutes ses formes. Et vous verrez que le bestiaire, les décors et les personnages reflètent cette diversité. Mais attention, tout n'est pas aussi manichéen que ce qu'on pourrait le penser. Ce ne sont pas que des méchants dragons oppresseurs contre des gentils humains qui se défendent. Au lancement de l'accès anticipé, vous aurez le choix entre trois personnages. Le premier, l'auteur de mon dragon, est un chevalier qui se prépare depuis son plus jeune âge à libérer l'humanité de l'influence draconique. Il est équipé d'un arsenal pour le moins ardent. La deuxième, Electran, oracle d'un monde déchu, c'est une sans-dragon. Elle a des pouvoirs électriques qui lui proviennent d'un ancien dragon. Et enfin le troisième, Haraldson, un grand guerrier déterminé. Il est lui aussi un sans-dragon, mais qui vient d'un rituel barbare à base de sang de dragon de glace. Un quatrième personnage est en cours de développement et sera disponible plus tard. Vous pourrez découvrir ces trois personnages plus en détail lors d'une vidéo qui sera diffusée la semaine prochaine. Rentrons ensuite dans le sujet du theorycraft, ce qui intéressera les plus passionnés d'entre vous. Dragonkin nous amène à chasser des dragons, mais c'est avant tout un jeu de type hack and slash. Donc il y aura forcément des tas d'objets aux statistiques aléatoires, une itemisation un peu complexe, des compétences actives et passives, ainsi que des systèmes d'artisanat. Mais ce n'est pas tout. Sans rentrer dans trop de détails qui seront le sujet d'une future vidéo, notre objectif était de faire en sorte que les compétences soient elles aussi une partie de l'itemisation, au même titre que l'équipement dans tout bon jeu du jeu. C'est là qu'intervient la grille ancestrale, un système où c'est à vous de constituer votre arbre de compétences à partir de fragments obtenus au combat ou en récompense d'activité. Chaque butin vous permet petit à petit d'améliorer vos compétences et tel un puzzle, vous pourrez optimiser leur placement avec celui des modificateurs pour tirer parti de votre espace limité. Spoiler alert, très rapidement dans l'histoire, vous serez accompagné d'un dragonnet, qui est une créature dressée pour affronter sa propre espèce. Ce dragonnet agit un peu comme une spécialisation de vos héros, permettant de lancer des tas d'effets sous condition. Le dragonnet aura en plus sa place dans la grille ancestrale, complexifiant encore plus vos choix. Parlons enfin du troisième grand pilier de Dragonkin, la progression. En plus de la grille ancestrale et de tout le theorycraft, il nous paraissait important de faire évoluer le monde avec la progression du héros, mais également d'améliorer l'expérience multijoueur et la création de multiples personnages. C'est dans cette optique que nos héros évoluent dans une grande ville, la cité de Montescail. Entre deux sessions de combat effrénées, vous pourrez retourner dans ce lieu de paix relative, où essayent de cohabiter les différents humains, protégés de l'influence draconique. La cité de Montescail est riche en artisans et en services, allant de la simple vente d'objets à la création d'ornements d'armure, ou à l'investigation d'une rumeur de taverne. Mais aussi, et surtout, la ville possède un niveau et va monter en prospérité au fil de vos découvertes et de vos créations artisanales, permettant de débloquer de nouveaux services. C'est donc un lieu central pour les multijoueurs, mais également pour vos personnages actuels et futurs qui bénéficieront de tous les bonus et services actuellement débloqués lors de vos parties précédentes. Tout comme pour les héros et la grille ancestrale, la ville nécessite un peu plus d'attention. Nous avons prévu une vidéo complète qui parlera un peu plus en détail de son fonctionnement, qui sortira dans le futur. Merci beaucoup d'avoir suivi cet extended gameplay. Nous sommes très heureux de vous voir de plus en plus nombreux sur notre Discord et répondre sous nos vidéos. Pour rappel, Dragonkin est prévu de sortir le 6 mars 2025
March
en accès
6th, that's
anticipé
it.
sur PC.
March
et des
6th, early
versions
access on
Xbox
PC,
Series et
Xbox
PS5
Series,
sous PS5.
PS5.
En attendant, nous vous donnons rendez-vous la semaine prochaine
Which is
pour une
like
vidéo sur les
4
héros de
days after
Dragonkin.
Monster Hunter Wild, so that's
Nous
not
ne sommes
great.
qu'au
But
début de ce que nous pouvons vous montrer.
the game itself, I think, looks pretty interesting. I know a lot of you guys in the chat have been playing Path of Exile 2, so those of you who have 200 plus hours, cough cough schmo, like feel free to weigh in because I haven't played an ARPG in quite a while. Like Wolcen and Diablo 4 were my last two, and like Wolcen was the one that I really went hard into. I like that there are these smaller companies that are trying to do something like this. Like when we think of ARPGs, we think of Path of Exile, we think of Diablo, and you know, a couple other ones, but like those are the two big ones, right? So anybody else that tries to get into this space, not only do they have a big mountain to climb, but they have a really challenging audience to develop for. There are some audiences that are willing to forgive small things. The ARPG crowd is not one of them. The ARPG crowd is one of the most ruthless crowds I think you will find. I remember us covering Wolcen and being woefully unprepared for what it takes to cover an ARPG and the depth of detail that you have to go into when you're covering a game like that. But in terms of like what this game is offering, I think it looks really cool. The whole thing is themed around dragons. The three characters that are going to be available at early access launch is they're dragon themed as well. You've got the Fire Knight, you've got the Oracle that's what is it, lightning based, and then you've got the Warrior that's ice based. So you've got electric based. Sorry, the Oracle here is electric based, and then the last one is a Warrior that's ice based. So they're not doing anything crazy. They're not really stepping outside of the innovation box and trying to introduce a million new concepts to players. What they're doing is giving people a different option. It's a high fantasy game with high fantasy creatures and characters, and that is going to look very familiar to people that have played Path of Exile, Diablo 4, etc., etc. And for them to have to compete with those games is going to be hard. I like this UI section. I thought it looked really crisp. Obviously, one of the pillars that he talked about was theory crafting. So they understand that attention to detail is incredibly needed if they want to break in. Like, again, that goes back to the ARPG community is ruthless. They want their shit really tight. They want to make sure the numbers work, the effects on weapons work. They want to make sure all of that is considered when these games are being released. And that's the mountain I'm talking about. I'm going to pause it right here because I want to look at this together. I don't understand exactly how this works. So let's see if we can figure it out. I see the abilities are, I think the abilities are like here, 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 just based on what's down here at the bottom, here. And then it looks like you're getting passive buffs off of that. What's interesting to me is like you have some of these golden ones, which are very clearly like enhanced, right? So you've got, let's use the shield icon here. These are clearly passive buffs, and you have to kind of connect, you know, whatever's touching this is getting the buff. Is all of this mean it's connected? So like, is this shield getting this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and all of this because it's all connected into its sequence? Or is it only the things that are directly around it? Hard to say. Feel free to weigh in if you have an idea. And then you see these golden ones, which are very clearly giving you some sort of enhanced effect. And then it's hard to tell exactly. Like, I think red is probably, I don't know what, I mean, obviously the colors mean something, right? You've got red, green, yellow, and then your gold, and then your abilities themselves. Hard to tell exactly what everything is. You've got luck here. I don't know if that's range projectiles or health, maybe. AoE size increase. This is damage increase. I don't know. Maybe this is speed, projectile damage. I don't know, but it's the same thing, but this one is green and this one is yellow. So that's interesting. Then you've got health, perhaps, or armor. It's not that diverse, right? You look at it and you're like, oh, okay, it's cool, but it's not that deep in a sense. But it's a different system. You know, it comes across differently. And what are you guys saying? You guys are talking about Chaos Bane, right? I saw a few of you talking about that in the chat here. Chaos was a very bad game. It was one of the two games that I regretted buying. Interesting. I saw somebody else in the chat said it was a vastly underrated game. So just goes to show that, you know, these games are interpreted so differently by different people. And if it is the same team, let's just do a quick Steam dive into it. Warhammer Chaos Bane. What do the reviews say? Mixed. Released in 2019 by Echo Software. Is it the same team? I actually don't know if it's Dragonkin. Oh, yeah, it is exactly the same team. They made a bunch of How to Survive, Aqua Panic, Handball. What a weird. Maybe this is all. Is this all Nexon? No, it's all developer Echo. Very strange. Welcome to Paradise. Oh man, a lot of mid games apparently. Does not bode well. But let's very quickly. I just want to dig into this. Is this the main trailer here? I'm just curious.
Many are trying to seize whatever little power they can.
Let's
He's
see some
skilled
gameplay.
fighter.
Oh yeah,
The
this looks a
combination
little
of
rough.
her ingenuity in the forge and her determination in battle make her a truly fearsome opponent. In hand-to-hand combat, Keela deals heavy damage with a warhammer of her own design. But she's also a versatile fighter, capable of inflicting short and medium-range damage with
I
her
mean,
hand
maybe it's
weapons.
just me, but like
You'll get the
2019
most
wasn't
out
that
of this
long
character
ago.
by combining her various skills. Against tougher enemies, Keela can draw on her mechanical engineering expertise
All
to
right,
unleash
so
heavy
bottom
firepower.
line, they have experience in this genre. And look, developers are not going to hit a home run the first time every time. In fact, very few developers actually do that. So for them to be staying in this space to develop a new game, it clearly looks better than this. This is very much a mid 2000s game. It's sad that this actually came out in 2019 and looks the way it does. It's not a very pretty looking game. But yeah, pretty interesting that they're staying in this space. Dragonkin, The Banished, it's releasing on March 6th into early access. That was the first gameplay trailer, and I'm sure more is coming. So if that's something you're interested in, they got a Steam page up. I think it's single player. Yeah, single player game, and more to come.